Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with an update for my Pan Those Eyeshadows-project. So I have my palettes right here and I'm just gonna jump straight into the video. The palette that we have on top here is this one right here, which is the I Heart Revolution Rose Gold palette. I rolled in the shade from this last month. I will insert the picture where I was when I started with this eyeshadow. And this is where I am today. So as you can see, I did actually manage to hit pan on this. This shade went really fast. It's very loosely pressed and they go really fast. As you can see, yeah, I managed to build quite a dip and I actually hit pan on it today when I was doing my makeup, which is really exciting. I am wearing this quite a lot. I'm wearing it in my crease, actually a little bit on the outside and inside of my eyes and also underneath my eyes. I do love this shade. It's beautiful. It's like a really nice kind of mustardy warm shade, and I feel like this went quite well with quite a lot of shades that I was panning this month. Especially one thing that I love doing with this was pairing it with my Colourpop Shock shadow in the shade Lightning Bug, which I'm panning in my Roulette pan collab, and it's just this gold really nice shade. Those two pair beautifully together and that was one of my go-to looks this month. I'm really excited to have pan on this. It was a beautiful shade and I love having this palette because it was really easy to travel with, keep in my makeup bag, in my handbag. And yeah, it's been a very used shade, and as you can see I did actually manage to hit pan on it. Although this palette was basically brand new when I pulled it in. So yeah, you are able to go through this quite quickly if you want to. So that is the first shade that I've gone through, and I will be rolling in another shade for this at the end of this video. And just to give you a swatch of it, that is the I Heart Revolution shade on my hand. So the next palette I have is this one right here, which is the NYX In Your Element Air palette. This palette has actually been in this product since the start, but I was using a different shade back then. So I did roll in a new shade last month as well, I think. And I will insert the picture where I was when I started. And this is where I am today. So that is the shade that I hit previously pan on, which is really exciting, but as you can see here, that is the shade now. It actually has a little bit of a dip, which is really exciting. It's actually not my favorite shade. It's a beautiful shade, but the eyeshadow itself is quite hardly pressed, and it's quite hard sometimes to get pigment. I have to dig quite hard, which is why I think I've managed to get a dip so fast. I'm not sure if I'll be able to hit pan on this next update because, as you can see, this pan right here is quite deep, and I'm not sure if I will be able to get there next month. It is also a very specific shade. It's a very warm shade, very like corally shade, and I do like it, but it's just I'm getting a little bit tired of it. I will continue using it though, and hopefully while rolling in some new shades this month, I will be able to kind of experiment with other combinations, but that is the shade, and yeah, I do like it, but it's not my favorite. And there you have the shade swatched on my hand. So the next palette we have is this one here, which is the Naked 3 palette by Urban Decay. The shade that I rolled in from the last update is Limit, and I will insert the picture of where I was last time. And this is where I am today. So I am having a little dip in it. I'm focusing my brush up here mainly. I'm not sure how much you will be able to tell, but usually what I've noticed with these kind of just nude setting shades is I use a really fluffy brush with them, so the dip isn't usually very distinguishable. But yeah, I've been using this. It's actually a really pigmented kind of light shade. I don't know if you can see, yeah, probably. It's actually really pigmented, which is nice, and I've been using this to set my eyeshadow base. This is not the most exciting shade, but I am happy to use it, and it's a very usable shade in my collection, so I'm really happy to have it in the project. I will be quite glad when I roll it out though, because I would like to have something more exciting, but it works for now and it's an easy shade to use for me. So yeah, I'm going to continue working on it for next updates. And there you have the shade swatched on my hand. I know I said it was called Limit, it's not, it's actually called Strange, but that is the shade. So next up we have another Naked palette. This one is the original one. I have had this in for the last 2 months, and the shade that I have is the shade Half Bake, and I'm going to insert the picture where I was last update. And this is where I am today. So hopefully you can see there that I managed to hit pan on this, which is really exciting. I'm so happy. This again is a beautiful shade. It's a really nice gold, and I did actually used to pair this a lot with all of the shades. It goes really well with the peachy shades, it went really well with the mustard shade, and I think this was a beautiful kind of shade to use to bind the two together, and I managed to use this quite a lot. It is a nice shade. It's one of my favorite gold shades that I have in my collection, and although this palette is getting a little bit older, it still performs pretty well. It's not as pigmented as this used to be, because I think this palette is quite old. I think it's at least 6 years old, if not more. So yeah, I'm actually happy to have my first pan in this palette, which I definitely needed to get. I told you guys before that I've been quite scared with hitting pan on things, but that has definitely changed, and I think that hopefully I will be able to get more pans than this in the year. But yeah, I'm really happy to have pan in Half Baked in this palette. And there you have Half Baked swatched out on my hand. And then the last shade that I have in this project is from my C palette, and it's one of the Makeup Geek shadows in the shade Mango Tango. I'm going to insert the picture where I was last month, and this is where I am today. So as you can see, I am starting to get a little dip. I feel like this is quite hard, and then I basically never used the shade before, so it was brand new when I started using it, but I have a dip in it. I am using it. It's again quite a specific shade. It's kind of similar to the NYX shade, and they go really well together, but sometimes I feel like they're too similar. But yeah, I've been using this quite a lot. I've been using it mainly in my crease. I do have it in my crease and in the outer corner and in the corners of my eyes today. It is a beautiful shade, but I'm again getting a little bit tired of this specific shade, and again hopefully I'll be able to get some variety in rolling into new shades this month. But yeah, I'm going to continue working on it. I don't foresee myself hitting pan on this in the next month, but hopefully I will be able to hit pan on this in the next 2 months. And there you have Mango Tango swatched out on my hand. So that was the color palette for last month. It was actually really beautiful, and I've been really happy to use it. I feel like I used all of the shades quite a lot. I did definitely focus a lot on the corally shades because yeah, I feel like that's the general color palette that I had, and I went for the more mustard shade, and when I needed something more kind of neutral, although it is still not quite neutral. So before rolling in some new shades, I'm just going to go through some eye looks that I made this month. So one of my first go-to looks this month was this one right here, which is, I used Mango Tango in my crease, and then I did use the NYX shade all over my lid. But I thought those two got quite kind of similar, so what I did, I topped it off with the Colourpop Super Shock Shadow in Lightning Bug, which I am also panning, and that is this look. I did really like it, and just as today I also did pair it with the Colourpop cream gel liner in Punch, which I'm also panning, which is a yellow liner. Really like this look. It was a go-to for me. So here we have another look. What I did on this day is basically use the NYX shade all over my lid. I really liked it. It actually turned out quite subtle and nice. And I did use Mango Tango again, just in my outer V to kind of make it a little bit more dark. And then on my lower lash line I ended up using Half Baked, and I think that turned out really well as well. And yeah, I think this is a more toned down kind of look. It's still colorful, but I feel like this was a bit softer, and I really actually liked how this look came out. And then the last look I have is one that I shared with you guys on Instagram. If you haven't seen my Instagram, I will leave it down below. But this was one when I just played, and I really actually liked how this came out. So what I did is I used Mango Tango in my crease, kind of creating like a elongated look. And then I actually put a little bit of the NYX shade just in kind of where I wanted to cut the crease. I really liked that, and what I did is just concealed my eyelid to cut the crease, elongating my eye, and then I filled that in with Half Baked. I really like that look, and what I did is just paired it with a liquid liner as well as a glitter eyeliner, kind of just in the cut crease, and I love this look. I don't think I would kind of wear it every single day, but I just love how it came out, and it was so much fun to play with these shades, and it's actually one of my favorite looks from this month. So let's move on to choosing some new shades. I currently have 32 palettes, just as last time, or like 32 kind of categories, and I'm just going to go and randomize. So the first shade will come from the palette that is number 13. Number 13 is actually a palette that we just rolled out, and that is the Urban Decay Naked palette, which is kind of funny because I said that I was hoping to get some more pan in this year. So I'm just going to go and randomize 1 to 12. If we get Half Baked again, obviously we'll roll another shade because I won't pick a shade that I already have pan on. So let's go and pick 1 through 12. So 1 through 12, I'm going to shake that and get number 2. So number 2 in this palette is this one right here, which is Sin. It's a really nice kind of champagne color. It looks like that. And there you have Sin swatched on my hand. I will do a new swatch on this hand once I have all the shades, but that is Sin swatched out. So for the next shade, we are going to go again from 1 to 32, choose a palette, and that will be number 1. So number 1 is my plain black C palette, which I'm going to go and pick up. So here we have my plain black C palette. I'm going to go and calculate how many I have. I think I'm going to go from here, do all of these, and then go down and then do these 2 last. So there are currently 21 shades in that palette, so let's go and randomize. We got number 13. So let's go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 13 is this Taupe shade right there. But we have the Taupe shade. It is a shade from the Wet n Wild Comfort Zone palette that I've kind of depotted. So yeah, I've actually got 2 cool tone shades, which is going to be quite interesting because I haven't had cool tones in this project since the start. But let me go and swatch out all of the colors that I have on my other hand. So here you have my color palette for next month. It's not as coherent as last month, and I'm going to be really interested how I can incorporate kind of these cool tones with the warmer tones. But looking at it, I actually think that these two look quite good together, quite contrasting, but they still feel like they go together. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really fun to actually get to incorporate some cool tones and warm tones in the same look. But yeah, that is basically it for this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like product palettes, please stick around to this channel because that's mainly what I upload. So yeah, consider subscribing if you aren't already, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye, guys!